What's happening, guys? This is Wilson Jet back with another mission debrief. Today I've got some gameplay from Gibby 1821. Gibby is a member of my clan, the Band of the Red Hand, and for a period of a couple hours last night, which was Wednesday, he was absolutely on fire and couldn't be stopped. He strung a bunch of great games together. The best of them was a 48-3 domination. Unfortunately, this isn't it. Sorry about that, man. I went back and looked in the theater, and it looks like both the Black Ops Theater and COD Elite went offline, took a massive dump for a period of about an hour and a half this Wednesday, and we lost all of those games. And as luck would have it, I did not have my laptop connected to the capture card at that time because my lovely wife had asked to use the laptop, and I thought, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll just go back into the theater and grab it later if anything cool happens. Well, we had all these great games, and I woke up this morning like a kid on Christmas, couldn't wait to get my hands on the Black Ops Theater and start pulling some of these games into my capture card so that I could record them and edit them later, and nothing is there. It's like it never happened. They're not even showing up in COD Elite. I was expecting a little bit of a stat bump because, as I've mentioned before, I've only got about 3 weeks into Black Ops, so it's not hard to move the meter on my stats. If I have a few great games, nothing's there. So what I did is I went back and I grabbed the next best game that I could find before the gap happened and everything went offline. This is a 41-13 domination game that Gibby played on Yemen, and as you can see, he is using an MSMC with reflex sight, predator reticle. He's got a suppressor on there, using a crossbow as a secondary, and as you'll see, Gibby likes to use all three of his grenades. He's going to be lobbing those grenades across the map, looking for hit markers. He chucks those grenades into high traffic areas to see where everyone is and move them around. You'll also notice that Gibby pre-fires a lot of corners even when he doesn't know there's an enemy there, just to do a spot check. Another thing I saw in here that I liked is when Gibby doesn't have a clear line of sight and there's a tight angle into a high traffic lane, he will fire his weapon into that area just to test for hit markers to see if people are there. He's also demonstrating some great use of the mini-map. There's a few times he's picking people up really quickly, so you know he's got to be playing the map. Hopefully by this weekend everything sorts itself out, because I would like to record some more this weekend, and you know, if you have a great game, I want you to be able to share it with me. So hopefully the theater's not broken. You know, it's Call of Duty. It seems like it never quite works the way it should. It's a fun game when it works well, but a lot of the times it's broken. More COD beef. Anyway, speaking of this weekend, I'm really looking forward to this one. There are some great sporting events coming up. NFL playoffs, not least among them. Want to give you my take on that. You know, before I do, I probably need to give you a little bit of backstory on myself so you know where I'm coming from. In my clan, there's 3 guys from Tennessee, there's 5 in Florida, 1 from Utah. Of the guys in Florida, I'm one of them. I live in Tampa. I'm not originally from here. I grew up in Indiana. I played basketball growing up. In Indiana, basketball is king, and of course I follow the Indiana Hoosiers in college basketball. They're having a great year. They were number 2 in the country until they lost to Wisconsin this week. So I follow Indiana. I don't like Kentucky. In the NBA, I follow the Indiana Pacers, even though I'm here in Florida. I still keep tabs on the Pacers. They're also having a pretty decent year. They're near the top of the Eastern Conference. They would be a lot better off if Danny Granger wasn't out for the whole year. We did recently beat the Heat and the Knicks. I don't care for the Miami Heat. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon even though I'm here in Florida. I know some of the guys in my clan aren't going to want to hear that, but you know, got to stay true to my roots. And I especially don't like the Boston Celtics. Matter of fact, I despise all teams from Boston. I don't like any of them. In particular, Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo, not only is he a Kentucky Wildcat, but he's just a punk. I've had a personal run-in with Rajon Rondo. There's a funny story about that I could tell you later. I got beef with you, Rajon. If I ever see you, I'm gonna let you know that too. Rondo's a punk, and he's a little dude too. Don't let the tail of the tape fool you. That dude is not 6 feet tall. He's more like 5'10". I'm 6'1½", and I tower over that kid. He's like 160 pounds soaking wet. Anyway, so I'm not afraid of you, Rajon. Another team that I follow, in fact, the team that I follow most passionately, and this might surprise you, is Tottenham Hotspur in the English Premier League. They've got a massive game coming up this Sunday against Manchester United. This Sunday, I'm going to be going down to the local pub here in South Tampa, an area we call Hyde Park. And I'm going to be going down there with my buddy who's from London. He's a season ticket holder at White Hart Lane. And we're going to try to troll the Man U fans. There's probably going to be 6 Spurs fans there and about 60 or 80 Man U fans. So that should be a good time. I support Spurs. I do not like Arsenal. They're a bunch of plastic gooners. I also don't like Chelsea. A bunch of front runners and flat out racists. So if you follow Arsenal and Chelsea, you don't have to watch my channel. You know, that's just how I feel. Take it or leave it. I support Spurs. Like I said, I like the underdog. I like teams with some heritage. I like teams who are about the sport and the club. All that other stuff, you can have it. In the NFL, of course, I got to follow my Indianapolis Colts. We had a terrible season last year, and we lost Peyton, but we had just such a great year this year. It was a pleasure to even see them in the playoffs with a chance of winning. And even though they lost to the Ravens, I was just so proud of them. You know, and of course, if you're a Colts fan, you're going to root for Peyton Manning no matter what. So ideally, going into these playoffs, I would have liked to have seen the Colts there, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. That's a team for the future. All of our great players are rookies. We got like 6 or 7 rookies who did so well this year. Colts are going to be there for a while. But Peyton's window is closing. In fact, I've got a bet for a reasonable sum of money with my brother-in-law that Peyton will never win another Super Bowl. So I've got some money hinging on this. But I was hoping that we would see a Denver-Seattle Super Bowl. But after that horrible Baltimore-Denver game, that is unfortunately not going to happen. So of the teams that are left, we got Baltimore and New England in the AFC. Like I said, I hate all teams from Boston. Basically anybody can win the Super Bowl at this point except New England. I just need for somebody to beat the Patriots. You know, Tom Brady, he can dare leak my balls. I cannot stand Tom Brady. You know, I hear he's a real sweetheart of a man, if you know what I mean. But I'm not down. And ESPN, you can just hop off of Tom Brady's D anytime soon. You know, ESPN's in Bristol, Connecticut, and their bias for all the Boston and New York and even Philadelphia teams is sickening. I mean, just let it go already. You know, his last championship was like 8 years ago. Can we just stop? So hopefully Ray Lewis jumps into the backfield and shanks Tom Brady or something. That would be just fine for me. Because, you know, Ray Lewis, he has a little bit of experience with that, allegedly. And then in the NFC, we got San Francisco and Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta for 4 years, but they're in the same division as Tampa Bay, and I live in Tampa, and I want the Bucs to do well, so I can't root for Atlanta. I'm rooting for San Francisco because they got Mr. Jim Harbaugh, Captain Comeback. He almost beat the Steelers back in 1995 with the Colts. I like that guy. He coached Andrew Luck over at Stanford. So I think it would be awfully cool to see a Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh Super Bowl, 49ers versus Ravens. And, you know, I kind of hope the 49ers win at this point. But basically, anybody but the Patriots. That's all I ask. Just don't let the Patriots win the Super Bowl, please. So there you go. That's my take. As far as this weekend is concerned, come on, you Spurs. We beat Manchester United up at Old Trafford. They can do it again back at the Lane. In the NFC Championship, I hope Colin Kaepernick runs amok, runs all over the Falcons, when San Francisco goes to the Super Bowl. And up in Foxborough, if there was some kind of maiming or even a little murder or something, that would be just fine by me. If you've got a gameplay you want to share, let me know. I just might feature it on the channel. Till next time, this is Wilson Jet. Later.